morning, students. My name is Vivas Tiwari, and today it is uh, 5th of March 2022. On 8th of March, you have your social science paper for class 10 C.G. Board. And for the quick revision, without wasting your time, I am going to dictate some questions, practice questions. I have already uploaded part 1 and part 2 for your 2 marks questions and MCQ questions. Okay, practice them. The most important thing, writing practice is very important because you need to manage the time, right? So there are some questions. Go through the questions, and if you need any clarification for the answer, you can refer to your book and you can ask in the comments also. Don't waste your unnecessary time, right? Only for the sake of revision, the important questions I'm going to dictate. Every question, just try to write the answer because writing practice is very important, right? And if you can write the answer, for example 6 marks question, write only 6 points. 4 marks question, write 4 points, like this. Okay, and if you know the answer, it's okay. If you don't know the answer, remember it and learn it. So let's start for class 10 CG board social science. Okay, now practice questions. Mention any 5 results of the First World War. Mention any 5 results of the First World War. 6 marks question. There may be 6 marks question, maybe in 4 marks question and 2 marks question also, the part of the questions. Second, in which states was the Treaty of Versailles signed? What were the main conditions of the treaty? The war that started in 1914 in World War is called World War. Why? What was the impact of the First World War on the common man? Describe the functions of the Indian Parliament. Sixth question, describe the functions of the Prime Minister, making the relationship between the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. Seventh question, explain in detail Kharif, Rabi and Zaid crops. Eighth question, why are the terms and conditions like interest rate, time period, guarantee, mortgage, etc. necessary for giving a loan? Explain with an example. Ninth question, if the Reserve Bank of India did not exercise control over commercial banks, what impact would it have on the money and credit system? What problems arise from excavation? Give detail. What is the difference between hydropower and thermal power? Explain the impact of new industrial policy. Why did Hitler want to expand the German state? Hitler's foreign policy was the cause of World War II. Explain. What are the works of the government that are directly related to poverty reduction? The literacy rate of women in India is lower than that of men. What are the reasons for this? India is a prosperous country whose inhabitants are poor. Describe in detail. Explain in writing the 6 functions of the Election Commission. Explain in writing the 6 points of the voting process. Write short notes on trade unions or labor organization. Who are the voters? Explain what it means by voter behavior. What are the different facts that influence voter behavior? There is a difference between female and male voters. Why? Means behavior of the voter, attitude. Explain the main differences that distinguish pressure group from political parties. What are the reasons for people not casting their vote? In what way did the media influence your life in any way? Give at least 2 examples. Now there are 5 marks question. Don't adhere or stick to the marks. Okay, 5 marks question may also be asked in 6 marks question like this. Which decision led to victory of Niyamgiri Satyagraha? Which scheduled tribe lived in Niyamgiri area? What was the Supreme Court's decision on Niyamgiri? Explain Americans and England's pro-nuclear disarmament movement. Write short notes on right to information. Explain the main benefits of RTE. What are the objectives of peace movement? Write what disarmament means and its needs. Now, for example, 4 marks question. How did Americans crisis affect the global economy? How did American crisis affect the global economy? What were the main changes in the condition of Russian peasant between 1861 and 1940? Write down the functions of the bank. How does a loan that can increase our income also trap us in a wave of debt? Explain with example from around you. Explain role of the Reserve Bank of India. What is globalization? What impact does the subsidy given by developed countries to their female have on Indian agriculture? What is globalization? What impact does the subsidy given by developed countries to their farmers have on Indian agriculture? Okay, farmers. What could be the reason for the decline in production of minor millet? What are the basic factors of agriculture in the production of crop? How has the change in the cropping pattern impacted the inhabitants of Sankra? Keep in mind their income, health, and employment as well as fertility while explaining the impact. Write difference between saving account and fixed deposit. If the Reserve Bank of India did not exercise control over commercial banks, what impact would it have on the money and credit system? Explain the ancient and modern form of currency. What were the main steps taken by the revolutionary government of Russia immediately after the revolution in 1917? In Russia, how was the deep relationship between the peasants, workers, and soldiers formed? Explain. Do you think that a country will have to enter into conflicts with other countries if it wishes to industrialize it in it industrialization possible by any other method? In what way did political thinkers and diplomats misuse Darwin's theory? Does a country's progress depend on establishing its sovereignty over other countries? What are the similarities and differences between the constitution drafting process in India and Nepal? What steps did the Constituent Assembly take to strengthen people's participation? What is the importance of the preamble to the Constitution in our lives? India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic country. Explain. Why is it important for the Constitution to specify who has the right to make laws for the country and the process to make these laws? What judicial role the parliaments perform? Why has this work been given to the parliament and not to the Supreme Court? Explain power and functions of the parliament. Explain power of president. Explain main functions of Supreme Court of India. What are the different provisions in the Constitution to ensure the independence of the judiciary? Who appoints Prime Minister? Explain powers and functions of Prime Minister. How is the Parliament dependent on the executive for enacting laws? Do you think this has a positive or a negative effect on the proposed law? Explain functions and powers of Election Commission. Now for 3 marks questions. How are census data useful for us? The growing population is the hurdle in the development of the whole world. Do you agree with this statement? What will happen in a country if its sex ratio is low? Write the three arrangements for the first general election. Why did Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar resign from the cabinet of ministers? Write three important facts of first general election. What opportunities did the Hindu Code Bill provide for equality between men and women? Why was the language the sole basis of recognizing the states give regions? What were the similarities and differences in the Punjab and Assam movements? Write important developments in Indian politics after 1967. If these four laws Hindu Code Bill had not been passed, what impact would it have had on the condition of women? For and here refer question number 7. What opportunities did the Hindu Code Bill provide for equality between men and women? How will be the economy of a country affected if there are more people in the youth age group there? So these are the questions, right? And you can just see the question and write in the points. I have already uploaded part 1 and part 2 of your multiple choice question and the 2 marks questions, right? Videos. You can just revise from there, and I wish you best of luck for your examination. Study well and be confident. We have studied a lot throughout the year.